I've been working with Terry for over a decade now. So we first met at a conference many years ago when Terry was working for Paul Montagna. Eventually, we ended up working in the same lab for Paul Montagna when I came to Texas as a postdoc, and then we ended up working together more formally now as him becoming a part of my lab. Terry is really what it epitomizes being an outstanding graduate student. So his leadership in the lab, both leading in terms of developing scientific ideas and projects, but also being a leader to undergraduates and graduate students in the lab is really just unparalleled. He is a great mentor, has a lot of patience with students in terms of teaching them things like field techniques, working with them as a scientific diver. He's a very accomplished diver who has a really strong skill set that he has been imparting onto the students, as well as working with them on things such as how to collect data, how to put the data properly into the computer, how to perform basic data analysis skills, and also writing. And then maybe the last thing is that Terry is really just a good person. So if you know him, you wouldn't know how accomplished he is. So Terry's scientific accomplishments really rival those of faculty here at the university. He has over 30 scientific publications, most of those he's the lead author of, but he's just a really down-to-earth, nice guy. So if you need help, if you need guidance on something, he's always there to share his time with you, and we are very lucky to have him as a part of our lab, and he's very well deserving of this award.
Terry is a fantastic graduate student and research specialist because he keeps the morale up in the lab, always bringing snacks in the field, and he also makes me a better scientist by helping me with data management and lab processing and all things field techniques.
Terry is outstanding because he's always doing so much for our lab. Not only is he doing everything that he needs to be a doctoral student, but he goes above and beyond. He's always bringing in food to show his appreciation, and he's always so patient when teaching me how to dive in the field and how to become a scientific diver.
As I recently moved here, I immediately noticed how much Terry does to keep this lab running. I have learned so much from him, from lab protocols to field procedures, and I look forward to learning more from him in the future. He has done so much to help Corpus Christi feel more like home.
Terry wears so many different hats, far more than any normal graduate student would wear, and through all of that, he has still found the time and effort to be more selfless, helpful, and thoughtful than anyone else in our lab. And even past field sampling, he's so helpful as a fellow student. If we're in class together, he'll go out of his way to make calendar events for due dates and give me any possible resources that might help me with the class. And then just as a friend, he's also super thoughtful, just from texts saying that, oh, it's free taco day at Stripes, or that some fruit is on sale, or just randomly offering me to use his canoe because it's a nice day outside. Terry just embodies the thoughtfulness and helpfulness that's really needed as a leader in a lab like this.
I'm so happy for you, Terry. This is just so amazing for you, and I just want to say thank you. You've been amazing support to me this past year that I've been here, showing me around and just making sure I feel comfortable in the lab and the field, and I just wanted to say thank you and congrats for everything coming your way.
I have known and worked with Terry since I was an undergrad worker in 2008 when I first came to HRI. And in that time, I have worked with him in the field. I have seen him teach lectures, and I really can't think of anybody else who works to make students feel more accepted and a part of things, and to help them understand what it is that they're doing. And he's just an all-around great guy.
Terry keeps us all going around the lab. If there's ever a problem to be solved, Terry's on it. He's always there to help, and he's the busiest person that I know, but he's always still willing to help me, Dr. Pollock, the students around our lab, and he's always the first person to want to help other labs too. Even with all he does, he never sacrifices the quality of his work. So he always takes the time and the effort and does the research to make sure that we're doing everything in the best way possible. Whether it's in his writing, his statistical work, his field work, Terry always goes above and beyond to do things incredibly well. I'm so proud and so lucky to know and work with you, Terry.
Good on ya. You deserve it. And I hope you treasure the memories of your time as a student when you're not a student anymore.
Yeah, Terry has really developed into an excellent student, and he has become a mentor to a lot of young students coming up, say, in Jenny's lab. He goes beyond, you know, as far as getting the field work done and teaching other students, you know, the proper way to, say, collect data, analyze data, and do the lab work. Terry is an overall mentor, I think, when it comes to, you know, the young students that are coming up in his profession.
Terry is, and what I really appreciate about him is his generosity, and that's his generosity with his time and with his knowledge. He's always been willing to help my folks out when they go in the field. If there's a problem with the boat or with the trucks, he's helped them with a lot of technical issues in the field. And also just in the lab in general, he's a good resource to have. He's always willing to give his time and knowledge on statistics, which is always a thing that you know can trap students. And so Terry's just a really generous person and certainly deserving of this. Well, the other thing that I really appreciate about Terry is he just has this real sense of home. You know, he loves to talk about where he grew up, and he loves to share, you know, his experiences, and especially he loves music. His favorite bands, he makes the people listen to his favorite bands on field trips, like Air Supply and Olivia Newton-John, Men at Work, you know, bands that we wouldn't normally listen to anymore, but Terry loved them, and so we always have to listen to him.
Terry Plummer is an outstanding candidate for this award because he's accomplished so much in his short career. Although he has probably published as much as most professors, he only recently decided to go back to school for his doctoral program. I met Terry in the year 2000. He came to my lab as an exchange student. As an undergraduate, he was going to do an undergraduate research project, and he moved here from New Zealand. When he arrived, he had these dreadlocks. He's even skinnier than he is now, believe it or not. And he hung around and finished an incredible project that actually ending up in a published paper. For an undergraduate project, that was pretty amazing way back then. He went home, finished his degree, worked for a little bit in New Zealand, then came back to the United States to work as a master's student with me. He finished that in 2006. In 2006, I moved here to the Harte Research Institute at Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. Terry was the first employee I brought over with me. He had just finished his master's degree, and together we kind of sat in a room by ourselves trying to figure out, well, how do we create a Harte Institute? What do we do to make this place a success? And Terry was an instrumental part, having been one of the very first hires of HRI. And over the years, I always wanted him to go back for a Ph.D., but he would, of course, got sidetracked by getting married, having 3 children. But finally, he did go back to school, and I'm so glad he did, because he really deserves a Ph.D. to recognize all the amazing things he's accomplished in his life.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Terry.
Congrats, Terry. You're awesome, man.
Congratulations, Terry. I can't think of anybody who deserves this more than you.
Congratulations, Terry.
Congratulations, Terry.
Congratulations, Terry.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Terry, on this great award.
Congratulations, Terry, for being awarded the Outstanding Doctoral Graduate Student.